Saturday, the day of what? Saturdays hit a little differently, don't they? Sunday's supposed to be the day of rest. Friday's supposed to be the last day of the week. The world tells us to slow down. Our minds want to break. We feel a whole lot of things on Saturdays. Sometimes there's all these fun things we want to do. Sometimes we just want to do nothing. Saturdays are a powerful day, but Saturday doesn't need to be another day to grind. It needs to be a day to be grounded. When you're clear, when you're connected, when you show up on purpose, Saturdays can be the best day of the week. And I want to talk to you about how. Hi, my name is Steve Kidd. I'm a third generation minister, an international best-selling author of 37 books, a whole bunch more coming out real soon here, and counting. And I've worked with basically 5,000 people, helping them write, publish, market their books to bestseller, and everything that goes beyond that. But more importantly, what I really do is I help you be the authority that you were born to be, that you're created to be, that you're meant to be. I help you be seen, be heard, be impactful, be the known authority so that you can lead to getting paid for just being you. All too often, we try so hard to try to be the thing that we need to be in order to make the money that we know we need to make. When in truth, what we really need to do is just be ourselves. The more clearly, cleanly, concisely, completely us that we put out there, the more we're going to attract the absolute right people. And really, quite frankly, even though I go live every single day and will continue to do so, because I'm leading the charge of this whole movement that we've got going on here, to be Zaraz, to show up now, to make the difference that only you can make in the world, to show my unique brilliance as an encouragement to help you show your unique brilliance. All of those kind of things, all combined in all the reasons why I go live every single day just for you, just to lead you to the place that you can. But in and through all of that, I want you to know and see you. I want you to feel deeply the need, the pull for the world, from the world, on you. Not in a bad way, not in that pressure way. But again, as I was beginning to say, and if with all this going live, if I reach just you, that's right, just you. Go look in the mirror real quick and then come back. If I only just reach you, that's more than enough. That would make every single live I've ever done in my whole life worth it, because you're worth it. And I choose to show up on purpose for you. So let's talk about Saturdays. I was thinking about this as I was getting ready. And I mean, sometimes I'm very extemporaneous and sometimes I'm very, very planned. And although I do have a little bit of an outline over here, I may go way off script today because I was thinking about this just a few minutes ago. And I was like, think about Saturday for a minute. Let's go back. Jump in our time machine and go back to when we were kids. Saturday is the day that we got up early. How many of you are older like me? And you remember when we only basically had 3 TV stations and, they turned off in the middle of the night, right? Remember that? How many of you remember getting up early, like before the station was on, and there was fuzz, or, you woke up in time to see the national anthem and the flag that started out the day, because the cool cartoons were on, right? Let's be honest, all right? Let's just go put it really straight out there on Main Street. Monday through Friday, every morning we had to get up for school, and every single morning we hated getting up. We didn't want to do it. And for those of you that are like me and you're more night people than you are morning people, you never really got to a place where you're like, yay, mornings, all right? And Monday through Friday, you had to get up, and your mom pulled you out of bed, forced you through breakfast, and made you go out and get on the bus or drive you to school or however that worked for you, right? That was Monday through Friday. But then Saturday morning, 5 a.m., 6 a.m., you're poof out of bed, got to go watch those cartoons, got to get up. Saturday morning, conversely, for our parents, was, typically a day off. It was a day that they were like, hey, yeah, the kids are going to get up and they're going to go watch cartoons and we can sleep in. Saturday was the day. In fact, I was thinking, I'm like, if any of you happen to own a cereal company, especially if your cereal company is targeting Gen Z or the next generation, those that are like 18 to 25, you really need to contact me because I have a whole ad campaign that I just came up with this morning for you. But, I was thinking about it. It's like, you know, breakfast cereal became really cool on Saturday mornings. Now, a lot of times, if you grew up in a household like I did, mom would make breakfast for you in the mornings. We weren't a real cereal kind of a house. It's not saying that mom didn't sometimes make oatmeal or cream of wheat or things like that, but often, bacon and eggs, those kind of things, more traditional, Midwestern, if you will, kind of breakfasty kind of foods was fairly normal. Um, you know, and uh, and yet Saturday, Saturday was that day we got to raid the cupboard and pull out the box of whatever kind of cereal. For me, I'm always thinking of Cheerios. Although today, if you were to ask me, and I don't eat these kind of foods right now, I'm totally no flour, no sugar, so cereal would be totally off. But if you ask me, it would be peanut butter Captain Crunch. Um, right? Okay. No, I don't do drugs. Everybody always asks when I bring up peanut butter Captain Crunch and Mountain Dew. I don't drink Mountain Dew anymore either. So obviously, I don't do drugs anymore. I never did. That's a total segue. I don't know what that had anything to do with what we're talking about, but you know, the cereal and you sit there in front of the TV, and maybe you poured it into a bowl and maybe you got milk, but maybe you just brought the box out and you're just eating it, out of the box, right? Some of you are looking at me like crazy. It's like, no wonder you had weight issues, right? Um, you know, the difference between our parents sleeping in and the rest, the chance to take a break that they had, and the whole concept of what Saturdays feel like as an adult versus what Saturdays feel like as a kid. And I know there are some, millennials and Gen Zers that, Saturday morning cartoons are still, or even afternoon cartoons, are still cool for them. I know it's much more in than it is, for them to watch than it is for those of us that are Gen X or, those above me that are baby boomers or things like that. But Saturday wasn't a day off for us. Saturday was the day, right? It was the day that we couldn't wait for. Sunday was going to be church, Monday through Friday was school. But Saturday was the day to celebrate, to rejoice, to, play outside, to run, to kick a ball, to play basketball, to play baseball, to go, visit friends. Friday night was a night you could stay overnight with a friend. Sometimes even Saturday night you could stay overnight at a friend and then come back on Sunday. Sometimes Sunday afternoon we would get to do those kind of things, but Saturday especially, Saturday was the day. And yet we become adults, and much like our parents had, shown us an example of, we fell into the pattern of Saturday being the, ugh, I'm just so tired. I want to go back to bed, or I'm not going to get up today. And that's cool. Okay. I am not taking away from you your Saturdays to rest. I want you to sleep in. I want you to take good care of you. But I want to also talk about some suggestions of ways that you can still be very clear. Our three C's: clarity, right? Everybody knows what clarity is, right? Okay. Consistency. Consistency meaning, regularly plannable, preferably every day. Consistent connection, connecting to people, reaching them where they are, meeting their needs, being there for people. Okay. We can carry all those into us on Saturdays, and we can do it in a fun way. Okay. So what if, What if you decided, hey, I'm not just going to go live 5 days a week. I'm not going to just go live 2 days a week. I'm going to go live 6 days a week. Okay, let's even still give you Sundays off. I'm going to go live with you on Sundays, but, what if we decided to make Saturdays our most powerful day of connection? And we did it by just really going crazy. I was trying to think through my wardrobe a way to do an example of this, and I realized between the weight that I've lost and certain different things that I couldn't really figure out how to dress this way examples. And I was already in a collared t-shirt, so I just or a collared shirt, so I just left it this way. You've seen me do lives in t-shirts and hoodies and all kinds of things. I'm pretty 7 days a week I work, so every day is kind of also my Saturday. And I would encourage you, you work for yourself, adopt these for all 7 days of the week, but at least make Saturday. Let's make it a really cool sacred space where you can show up. Show up in your fuzzy slippers, stretchy pants or shorts, show up in a cool, funny, awkward, comfy t-shirt. Maybe you don't want to show up in something that's got stains all over it or whatever. You don't want to totally destroy your brand, but you could also add into your brand some casualness, some calmness, some comfortability, some, hey, I'm a real human being. I'm wearing a dress shirt and I'm wearing shorts with it, which is true. I actually am wearing shorts with it. Okay. You can even let your people know, hey, yeah, I put on this collared shirt. I was wearing a t-shirt 5 minutes ago. Well, now 15 minutes ago. Right? But what if on Saturday, what if you just showed up, not in a heavy come down on you, it's going to be a boring teaching. Talk about crazy things like sitting in front of the TV at 5 o'clock in the morning and watching the Fuzz until 5:30 when they played, the national anthem. And you stood and you put your hand on your chest and the flag was flapping or whatever the particular picture was, and then the cartoons came on, right? And you sat there eating cereal and you're just there for several hours till about 11 or 12 o'clock, and then the boring stuff started coming on, and then pretty soon it was sports, and then you went outside and played, right? Nowadays you might be like, hey, I can't wait till the Saturday afternoon because there's some cool sports on. But back then, you didn't care. You didn't want to watch the plot-driven drama type of shows. You wanted cartoons. You wanted something animated and funny and fun that you really enjoyed, and you had picked out. And come fall, there was a whole, these are all the new shows that are coming out, and here's all the shows that are coming back. You remember watching those fall cartoon previews? Yeah, I know I'm dating myself, and some of you that are younger, that are used to 2, 3, 4, 500, 10,000 stations, plus you've got streaming services of, Disney and YouTube and Amazon Prime and Peacock and Paramount Plus and the list goes on and on and on and on, and you could spend $1,000 a month easily on live, on cheaper streaming services, right? So some of you are like, I could do that any day of the week. Good. Do that any day of the week. Embrace that whole same concept that cable television brought in, that streaming services improved on. You can have a station now where you can just watch cartoons all day long. And there's even multiple cartoon type of stations. In my particular area, it's right around the three, the 300s, the high 299s or high 290s, I think it is, and the low 300s, before you get into all the boring news stations. Tons and tons of cartoons, ones that are for little tiny kids that, you feel like your brain is being sucked out of your head while you're watching them, and they think they're just amazing, right? All the way to, things that are totally adult related that no child should ever be allowed to watch kind of cartoons, whatever your jam is, they're available for you. Why not also make your lives, your consistent, clear connection? Why not make those fun? Why not show up? You see, it's not about you being perfect. Saturday is the perfect time for you to practice not being perfect. Okay? You can just show up. You can do it in a restful state. It can be fun and funny. And, whether you go for 5 seconds or you go for 3 hours because you're just having a blast. I have a friend of mine that's doing a 4-hour training today on a Saturday on something that she's just totally jazzed about. Looking forward to it. Been promoting it for the last 2 weeks. Saturdays can be an awesome, amazing opportunity. You can bring in the people that still are working a regular 9 to 5 job, and you can have them come in on a Saturday because you can do things to them. But it can just be fun. You can restore your own soul while you're also maybe giving something to restore their soul. And you can practice. You can just start off. You can be in shorts and a t-shirt. Have your favorite coffee mug, drink some coffee, sit back in the chair, and be all like, today we're just gonna. In fact, I might do the rest of this live just like this. I'm gonna be a little more casual with this live. I usually am right up there on the camera, and I'm gonna sit back. I'm a little fuzzy, so maybe I can, maybe I can't. Um, you guys can deal with my fuzziness too, can't you? All right. Because it doesn't have to be perfect, right? We're just here to connect. We're here to be buddies. We're here to make a difference in the world. And you can just sit back with your cup of coffee. I need another water bottle, and I didn't bring in one in with me. That's crazy. Um, you know, and if I had an assistant that lived with me, I'd have my assistant would be like running a bottle of water into me right now. Because you guys know me. That's pretty much. I drink a gallon and a half of water every day, right? Just drink your favorite coffee. If you drink alcohol, have a little sip of something. Do your Saturday at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon and have it be the beginning of happy hour. You don't have to get up at 6 a.m. and be like, hey, here we go. Be lighthearted. Tell on yourself. Talk about how you were addicted to Mountain Dew. In case you guys didn't catch that earlier, that's what I was alluding to. That's why I don't drink it anymore. Okay? When you drink so much caffeine that you blow out your adrenal glands, and your fight or flight system is just totally askew, it's time to move away from the caffeine. You don't have to, but I'm just telling you from experience, that's where I got to, okay? When you get to the place where you're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to lose this weight for me. I don't need to do it to be pretty for somebody else. I don't need to do it for any other reason than I want to live. And yeah, on top of that, I have a world to change. I want to be on stages. I want to be able to get in a plane and fly comfortably. It's really hard to do that when you're 400 plus pounds. Okay, not to mention the fact that even when you're at my size now, I don't care. You could be my mom's size. My mom was 5'2". She weighs 125. If she gets to 126, she goes on a diet, okay? You could be her size, and airplane bathrooms are still small, okay? Let's just be real, all right? Airplane bathrooms, I don't know who they're made for, but my 9.5, she's back down to about 10. She was up to 14. She's about 10 or 11 pounds probably now. Poor fat little thing, because I fed her too much pizza and bacon. My little puppy Mocha, they're too small for her, right? I know you're wondering. It's like, what is Steve even talking about? See, this is what I'm trying to mirror to you: is the whole concept of just having fun. If she would come with me, I'd bring Mocha on live today. That's probably what I should have done. I should have gone out and kidnapped her. I know I'm really furry. I'm really fuzzy today, and I can't get it to clarify. That's no better. Well, it's just going to be what it is. Just talk about relatable things. Have fun with it. Enjoy the time, enjoy the process. Tell something lighthearted, tell something personal. You could go the other way and you could go really, really deep with people, but you could just this is why I'm sitting back. Okay. I'm trying to mirror to you the whole concept of just sitting back. And you can see I've got my green screen, I've got my virtual background. And when I move my hands around, it makes all kinds of crazy things in the thing because I talk with my hands. And you can laugh at it. It's fine. I've got arms on my chair, and I've got my arms on my chair when usually I'm up here. See, I want you to get the feeling of a weekend vibe, just kind of chilling. We're sitting back, we're just talking to each other, we're just here hanging out. What if you went live on Saturdays and you were just a person and your people were just like, wow, man, that person's really actually just a person. You know what I did to get myself ready for this particular live? I listened to a Striper song, new one I hadn't heard. It's really good. Striper's rocking just as hard now in the 2025. Although this particular song was produced in 2015. I mean, they're rocking just as hard now as 60-plus-year-old men as they were back in the 80s. Maybe they don't jump around quite as much as they did. They don't wear spandex anymore, but they can still rock hard. That's pretty awesome. So that's what I did. What did you do today? Put it in the comments. What did you do today? How did you just, embrace Saturday? And then how can you show up for your people? What is your Saturday vibe? Rather than, I'm even going to give you a break today, okay? Because I do want you to pick up your phone and go, I'm chilling on Saturday. That's your prompt. I'm chilling on Saturday doing X. I'm going to mow the lawn. I'm going to have a picnic. I'm going to, do absolutely nothing all day long. That's your prompt. I'm chilling on Saturday doing. Okay. But for fun, and ChatGPT is actually doing a much better job of creating images. So you could use it. There's a couple other services that I use. There's one that I use that I really like. I'm actually looking it up for you. So if you see me looking like I'm looking stuff up, it's because I am. What's it called? Night Cafe, nightcafe.studio. It has a whole bunch of them. And it has some of the older models of the GPTs in there. I forget what it's called, but the one that ChatGPT used to use. Yeah, nightcafe.studio. There's like about 40 different image creators. For fun, for an extra bonus, drop an emoji as a comment for your thing here. For even more fun, on your personal profile, create a little meme that says, today I'm chilling doing Saturday vibe, chilling doing, this. I'm going to create one here right after we're done. It's going to be the next thing I'm going to do. Okay. And I'm going to share that. Okay. And I'm going to animate it and I'm going to put it on Instagram and TikTok as well. And maybe I won't even I don't know, I might make a live for TikTok today too, but either way, what's your Saturday vibe and how are you going to show up and just really be part of people's lives? See, we don't need to hustle. We don't need to be all right, everybody, here we are. We're going to do it. It's Saturday and we're grinding and we're grinders and we're hustlers and we're going to get it done. Okay? I came back forward because I wanted to come forward, but it's not about that hard. It's about being the signal. It's about being real. You see, clarity brings you to your real. Consistency brings out the real you, which all of those ties back into you connecting. Because you're just real. You're genuine. You're a totally regular, real human being. Somebody who can sit back on the camera, who can come forward, who can talk for 5 seconds, who can talk for 5 hours. Whoever you are, just be you. Just really enjoy it. Because you see, we're not just building, some kind of a message or some kind of a scam to get people to give us money. We're just inviting people to come along on the ride for us and be part of the movement that we want to create to change the world. The world is always sitting on the head of a pin, and it could go really to a great place or really to an awful place. And the difference between good and bad really just boils down to, are good people going to show up in a way that's real, consistent, and allows them to connect to others and make the difference in the life of the person that they are meant to help? Even if it's just one. Even if it's just one person that listened for 1 minute to me today, and if they took something away from it, that's more than enough. Even if you get no likes, no comments, no anything, show up. It's going to be good. It's going to make the impact because people are going to know you're there. And you are building the momentum, the steam. And like I'm going to mirror model to you right now. Give them a free Facebook group or something else that's free that they can jump in and be a part of your community. I'd love to have you come be part of ours, be part of our movement, get visible, be part of the visibility amplifier and amplify your visibility today because somebody's waiting on you. Somebody needs you to just show up fun and funny and real and powerful in a way that's just so calm and casual that they don't even realize that you've just turned their whole world around, set their whole world on fire in a great, amazing way. And I know you're going to do it because you're awesome. You're a world changer. And I appreciate you. Thanks for doing it. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for being here with me today. And I'll see you again next time.